Hey everyone, I'm Jason, and this is your commentary on Exodus chapter 5. Later on, Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh. They said, "The Lord is the God of Israel. He says, 'Let my people go.' Then they will be able to hold a feast in my honor in the desert." Now, right here, it's Aaron and Moses who go up to the Pharaoh. And yet back in chapter 3, God told Moses to take the elders with him to go up to Pharaoh. So he doesn't have the support of the elders with him directly. This plays an important role later on. Pharaoh said, "Who is the Lord? Why should I obey him? Why should I let Israel go? I don't even know the Lord, and I won't let Israel go." So Pharaoh is a pantheist. The Egyptians worshipped a whole bunch of different gods. And the plagues that are going to come up that the Bible's famous for, each one was intentionally meant to go against one of those particular gods of Egypt to show how the Lord, the God of Israel, is superior over all of them. Pharaoh says here that he knows a bunch of gods, he doesn't know the Lord, so he's not going to respect their wishes. Then Moses and Aaron said, "The God of the Hebrews has met with us. Now let us take a journey that lasts about 3 days. We want to go into the desert to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God. If we don't, he might strike us with plagues, or he might let us be killed with swords." Now, he's saying that their concern is that if they don't offer sacrifices, then God's going to send the plague on the Israelites. So it's kind of giving a warning of what God's capable of doing, although Pharaoh isn't really paying attention to it. But the king of Egypt said, "Moses and Aaron, why are you taking the people away from their work? Get back to work." Pharaoh continued, "There are large numbers of your people in the land, but you are stopping them from working." That goes back to the last chapter at the end where they were all bowing down and worshiping God. So they're distracted because they believe that God's going to pull them out of slavery, so they're not working quite the way that they used to. That same day, Pharaoh gave orders to the slave drivers and the others who were in charge of the people. He said, "Don't give the people any more straw to make bricks. Let them go and get their own straw, but require them to make the same number of bricks as before. Don't lower the number they have to make. They don't want to work. That's why they are crying out, 'Let us go. We want to go offer sacrifices to our God.' Make them work harder, then they will be too busy to pay attention to lies." One of their main responsibilities was to make the bricks for all the buildings that were going on. The bricks were a combination of the mud and clay with the straw as well. And so now he's saying, still require the same quota, but take the straw away from them. It just made their life a whole lot harder. The slave drivers and the others who were in charge left. They said to the people, "Pharaoh says, 'I won't give you any more straw. Go and get your own straw anywhere you can find it, but you still have to make the same number of bricks.' So the people scattered all over Egypt. They went to gather any pieces of straw that were left in the fields. The slave drivers kept making the people work hard. They said, 'Finish the work you are required to do each day. Make the same number of bricks you made when you had straw.' They whipped the Israelites who were in charge of the people. Those Israelites had been appointed by Pharaoh's slave drivers. The slave drivers asked, 'Why didn't you make the same number of bricks yesterday or today, just as before?' Then the Israelites who were in charge of the people made their appeal to Pharaoh. These Israelites, they would be more like the foremen who were in charge over the other Israelites who were making the bricks. They asked, 'Why have you treated us like this? You didn't give us any straw, but you told us, make bricks. We are being whipped, but it's the fault of your own people.' Pharaoh said, 'You just don't want to work. That's why you keep saying, "Let us go. We want to offer sacrifices to the Lord." Now get to work. We won't give you any straw, but you still have to make the same number of bricks.' The Israelites who were in charge of the people realized they were in trouble. They knew it when they were told, 'Don't lower the number of bricks you are required to make each day.' When they left Pharaoh, they found Moses and Aaron waiting to meet them. They said to Moses and Aaron, 'We want the Lord to look at what you have done. We want him to judge you for it. We are like a very bad smell to Pharaoh and his officials. You have given them an excuse to kill us with their swords.' Moses returned to the Lord. He said to him, 'Lord, why have you brought trouble on these people? "Is this why you sent me?" It's amusing that Moses, having seen the burning bush, having seen the miracles, and even performed them for the elders, he still doesn't fully trust God. He doesn't understand what God said, even though God has been very clear the entire time of what his purpose is. Not necessarily how he's going to go about it, but definitely what he wants. Ever since then, he has brought nothing but trouble on these people, and you haven't saved your people at all. So Moses and Aaron are feeling the pressure from all the Israelites whose workload has increased. It would be slightly different if the elders went with Moses rather than just Aaron. Right now, the Israelites can look at Moses almost like he's an outsider, not one of them. He doesn't have the same struggles that they do. And so they see him as an outsider, and it's his fault that they now have to work harder. And yet, if the elders went with them, the representatives of the community at large, and they said, this is our decision, that we're going to obey God, and that we're going to stand up and ask for our people to be let go, that would be harder for the Israelites to fight against it and to hold Moses accountable for it. Unfortunately, the choice that Moses made a while back, saying he didn't want to do it on his own, he got Aaron's help, but he also lost the support of the elders. Well, that is it for commentary on Exodus chapter 5. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.